Woohoo!
Saturday 16th of March 2024, forecast was for light southerly winds with potential 1-star day, so cloud base around about 2,000 to 3,000 feet. Yeah, as it was a good day, people hadn't flown for quite some time. It was extremely busy at Mount Caburn that morning. So I've been coaching some of the lower airtime pilots at Mount Caburn that morning for around about a couple of hours, got there around about 10 and got ready to launch round about 11:30. So flew in the bowl for 5 or 10 minutes, looking for something decent to get us a little bit higher, and then picked out half decent thermal, hooked up with Pete Impey, who's one of the more experienced pilots that fly with our club, and had a really good time climbing out with him. He was just above me most of the time. And I guess the most spectacular part there was he was flying together with a bird of prey on the way out, so a special moment. Yeah, Pete actually broke off there and decided to fly back home towards Newark. And I've been climbing out also with Darren, who, again, he broke away from me, so I was kind of left by myself for quite some time. I didn't really have a particular plan for this cross-country flight. I hadn't thought I'd be getting away quite so well as I did. So I got to Ringmer, floated around over the eastern side of Ringmer, going up most of the time, but also falling out of the thermals there. So at this stage I was starting to realise that conditions were pretty good for a cross-country flight, and there was potential to get some good distance.
Two wings ahead of us, coming up nicely, got a fluffy cloud, and it looks like we've got a nice thermal in front of us. Okay, homing in on these guys, hopefully we'll get up with them in a second. So just over 2,000 feet. Been in the air for 54 minutes, just short of 9 kilometres. Here we go, just starting to get something now.
So the two guys that I caught up with and met in the air, it was actually Carlo from Flybubble and Darren, who I'd climbed out with earlier on in the flight. Yeah, as soon as I recognised it was Carlo, I was quite a happy person, because I've flown with Carlo a few times, and every time I've been with him, he's kind of shown me the way forward, where the thermals are, and ended up having some good flights, so I was really pleased to see him. Yeah, I guess the only thing that was in my head at this stage was that we were over the top of Ringmer, which is where Carlo and Flybubble are based, and a lot of the time when he's testing kit, he actually lands in Ringmer, so I wasn't sure how long he was going to continue for. Yeah, I was really pleased with my decision making there, because I could easily have gone on a glide with the wind, try to get as much distance as possible. Instead, just hung around for a little bit and then could see the two guys in the distance, and in my mind it was I was better off being with at least a couple of others to try and track the thermals and maybe stay up in the air for a little bit longer that way. Yeah, the bonus here was that one of the pilots was Carlo, a quality pilot, one of the best pilots in the club, and having flown with him in the past and seen his flying before, he can he's pretty good at finding the thermals, so all I needed to do was stick with him, and I was pretty sure that I was going to have a decent flight.
Woohoo!
So the graphics here show myself and Darren. I don't think Carlo's on Sports Track Live, so it doesn't show his flight, but you can see where Darren breaks away, and I found out later it was his intention to fly back home towards Hailsham. Yeah, so myself and Carlo continue between around about 2,000 to 3,000 feet, pretty much all the way over the top of Halland towards Heathfield, and then on towards Burwash. Yeah, relatively clear skies, so with some great views back towards the coast, and then looking east towards Kent. Yeah, so for most of the flight I flew slightly behind Carlo and wider so that I could keep an eye on him, but also so that I could try and track any thermals that were away from where he was, so it'd give us sort of two options to get some more altitude. Yeah, what I really learned from this flight is that if you're flying together with somebody else, it kind of more than doubles your chances of flying further because you've got more opportunity to pick up half-decent thermals, working together, trying to keep that distance just about right between the two of you to try and find out where the thermals are, where the lift is, just to give yourself more opportunity to increase the distance of the flight. Yeah, it was really cool to spend some time with Carlo after the flight so that he could give me some feedback on my technique, my thermaling, so hopefully things can improve even more in the future. So about 90 minutes into the flight, I started to feel quite uncomfortable, and it felt like I was leaning too far back in the harness and not being supported enough. So I was starting to get some pains in my stomach, which caused my concentration to lap slightly, and therefore my thermaling wasn't quite as good as it should have been. So since the flight, I've had a chance to check my harness, and the straps had actually slipped around about 3 inches or so. So I was leaning back much further than I should have been, and it was causing obviously a bit of distress on my stomach muscles and also my neck as well. Yeah, as you can see, the scenery was absolutely stunning. So on some of the few glides that we did, we had an opportunity to enjoy the countryside, the views, the blue skies, and it wasn't particularly cold as well up there. So could wear the normal gloves, didn't have to wear heated gloves at all. So yeah, a real pleasure this flight. So at this stage of the flight, I was well beyond my personal best from Mount Caburn, so beyond the 18 kilometres that I'd done around about this time last year. And as I found out later on, I'd also hit a couple of waypoints just above Glynde and then over Ringmer, so quite a bonus, bear in mind I hadn't actually put the waypoints into my systems before the flight. Yeah, about an hour to hour and a half before I launched, a number of other pilots had launched and got up in some good thermals, one of them being Tom, and he'd actually eventually made it all the way to Maidstone, so congratulations to him. And also Inga got just beyond Ticehurst to Flimwell, clocking up 37 kilometres, so fantastic flying from her as well. So we started losing altitude round about Burwash, and then turned in towards Ticehurst to try and find somewhere to land. Yeah, all in all, had a fantastic day. Weather was brilliant. Had a good day's coaching earlier in the day with our Red Ribbon guys, around about 20 of them on the hill, so busy with them. Loved flying with Carlo, and then lucky enough for Nancy to come and pick us up and retrieve us back to Ringmer, back to Mount Caburn, stopping off at the cake shop on the way back. All in all, 37-kilometre flight and 2 waypoints on the Southern Waypoint Challenge.